16 electoral votes are up for grabs in the key battleground state of Michigan. According to the state secretary's office, nearly 3 million voters have already cast their ballots. Meanwhile, Michiganders will be allowed to open carry firearms at polling places today. The move comes after Michigan's highest court failed to rule on a request by state elections and law enforcement leaders to overturn a lower court's decision that found a directive banning open carry in the polls was illegal. I spoke to Lieutenant Governor of Michigan, Garlin Gilchrist, earlier about this ruling. Take a listen.
I think what's most important to start with in this conversation is the fact that voter intimidation is illegal under state and federal law already. And frankly, I believe that the only reason that a person brandishes a weapon at a polling place is to try to prevent someone from voting, not to support their voting. So we expect law enforcement to enforce the laws that stop voter intimidation, regardless of the open carry standard. But yes, open carry is not, there are already many places, churches and schools, where you can't open carry a weapon, and that will be true on Election Day.
So let me just sort of clarify, right? What I heard you say is there isn't really a reason to bring a gun to a polling site. So if it's not to intimidate people, then what reason is there? And so if you show up with a gun, is the assumption going to be that you are intimidating voters?
I think that'll depend on the person's behavior with the weapon, but I think that really what voters in Michigan should be focused on is the fact that they are there to vote, and no person can legally stop them from doing so if they're eligible. And so I'm encouraging all voters in Michigan to vote proud today. This is an exciting day, the last day of this really crazy electoral season. And so I believe that Michiganders are going to, continue these trends that we've seen with record voter turnout, and there won't be anyone who can stop them, especially those voter intimidators.
And if someone is feeling, a little concerned about heading to the polls today, they haven't mailed in or dropped off a ballot, should they be worried about voter intimidation? What would you say to them?
I would say that today is the day you need to cast your ballot, the last time before 8 o'clock. And if someone is doing something illegal at a polling place, they will be prosecuted. And you just need to worry about casting your ballot. Don't be scared.
All right. So Michigan election officials have already warned voters not to expect results tonight, despite President Trump's claim that he wants, the election to sort of wrap up by tonight the way it always has. How is the state prepared to combat, misinformation that could potentially cast doubt on the outcome of this close presidential race? As you already know, the president has been throughout this entire campaign suggesting that mail-in ballots, early voting, that they are more susceptible to fraud.
The president is a liar, period. And so the expectation that I have is, of course, that he wants to lie about the results of the election. The truth is, elections are never wrapped up on election night. Media companies call elections, but they are not finished or decided or certified. The focus of the state of Michigan will be on counting every ballot and doing so accurately and taking whatever time is necessary to do that. And so we will combat misinformation with the truth. We'll let people know how many ballots are still left to be counted, and we'll let people know when the tabulation is complete. People should frankly ignore this president who's been lying to us for 4 years about the biggest issues of the day every single day. And so instead we can focus on those election administrators, the volunteers, the poll workers who are working so hard across the state and across the country to make sure that we get this election right. Americans and American voters want it to be right, not fast. And so we need to frankly wait for this patiently and not be fooled by the lies of the president that we'll see tonight and his team.
So as you already know, across the country, we've seen businesses, retailers, government offices boarding up in anticipation of, unrest that may emerge after the election is over, including in Detroit, including where I am in Philadelphia. So what other measures are officials taking to ensure that people remain safe after the polls close?
Well, we're going to do the same thing that we always do to protect public safety. The truth is, this is not a day that people should walk into with fear. This is not a day that business owners should walk into with fear. Election day is an important day in our democracy, and we need to make sure that everyone can exercise their right safely. And the only person stoking fears or stoking the ideas of any demonstrations that could get violent are the president and his allies and those who he has encouraged for this entire year and, frankly, his entire presidency. And so we have laws in the books, again, to prevent people from causing this kind of turbulence. But we, again, are focused on making sure that people can vote and vote safely and vote in record numbers, that this election will be a standard going forward for the level of voter participation that we have, and that no person or no organization or no president can stand in between us.
All right, Lieutenant Governor Garlin Gilchrist, I'm sure you will be very busy today, so I appreciate you starting things off early and talking to us.
Thank you, Anne Marie. Take care. Be safe, everyone.